Live. There we go. Okay, today's date 2/13, and a little review of what we're going to do tomorrow. So first of all, number one, write as an inequality and graph on a number line. Okay, the product means times. The word product means times. Okay, it's a math word for times, and a number, and 4. So I'm going to go 4n. Okay, so so my number is n. So product of a number and 4, there's my 4n, is less than 10. Now I'm still supposed to graph it on a number line, so I'm going to have to solve it, right? So I'm going to divide by 4, divide by 4. I've got n is less than, and if you use your calculator, it should be 2.5. 5 over 2 or 2.5. Okay. If you want to go 10 divided by 4 and just use your calculator, it is 2.5. And on my number line, again, I don't have to have all values. If I go 0, 1, 2, 3, then 2.5 is, well, it's about there, right? And less than, I'm going to shade in this direction right here, okay? Okay, thumbs up on that one? Okay. Okay, number 2, solve and graph. Sometimes it's confusing the way I type this, and I'm just going off of the word processor. So this really is the same thing as 12 minus 3/4 x is greater than 18. Okay, and I'm not real good at typing things. I'm just old school, so that's the way it is. So it really means 3/4 x. So let's solve. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of all the extra. I'm going to get rid of the 12 because that's an extra number. So minus 12, so I have a negative 3/4 x is greater than 6. Okay, now we can do the fraction in 3 different ways. You guys like it the easy way. I call it Landon's way, which works, okay? So instead of 3/4, instead of divide by 4, I'm going to do this in 2 steps. I'll multiply by 4 first because it cancels it, okay? And then if the 4 is gone, I'll be left with a negative 3x is greater than 24. And then I need to divide by negative 3, but I have to remember that as I divide by a negative number, I have to remember to turn the sign. So I'm going to rewrite this as x is less than negative 8. Okay, and put that on a number line. I just need to make sure I have at least negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, negative 5. I don't have to drop all the values, just have to have negative 8 there and some numbers around it to give me some kind of perspective. So I'm going to go and open circle it negative 8 because there's no equal sign. And if it's less than negative 8, it's going to shade back to negative 9, negative 10. Get all the numbers back like that. How am I doing? Thumbs up? Okay. Good. Number 3. Okay, number 3. The first thing I'm going to do is tidy it up. So I'm going to distribute. I'm going to go negative 2 times 3x makes a negative 6x. I'm going to go negative 2 times a positive 1. A negative times a negative is a positive 2. Okay, so I just went negative 6x and a positive 2. Now I have to remember the rest of my terms, so I'm just going to slide everything else down, okay? So I'll slide down the 8 and the greater than sign, and I'll slide down the 5x plus 12. Okay. I'm going to tidy up a little bit because I've got 8 plus 2. I'll tidy that up, make that 10. So a 10 minus a 6x is greater than a 5x plus 12. Okay. Might have a fraction answer, but I can live with that. So I have x's on both sides. That's okay. I can deal with that. I'm going to add 5x because that's going to get rid of this one. So I'm going to go plus 5x. So I'm going to go, I'm sorry, 6x. I said it wrong. Plus 6x plus 6x. I'll have 10 is greater than 11x plus 12. Okay. I'm going to get a fraction, but that's not going to bother me. I'm going to go minus 12 minus 12. And I'm running out of room, so I'll put the rest of the work over here because I'm running out of room. So I'll have a negative 2 is greater than 11x. I'm going to divide by 11. And you can use a calculator if you want to, but just leave it as a fraction. It's easier. So my answer is just negative 2/11, but if I read this correctly, I've got x is less than negative 2/11, okay? Leave negative 2/11. Much better than using an ugly decimal, okay? That fraction is an easy answer, okay? Okay, now number 4 is a compound inequality. So what I have is two signs, right? Let's make this better. Let's make this one equal. I should have done that. So when we get done, we'll have an open circle and a closed circle, right? Let's just make that equal. Okay, let's solve. So I'm going to solve both sides at the same time. You guys okay with that? So I'm going to go minus 4, but I have to do it on both sides. I've got two equations, don't I? I've got two equations. I'll go minus 4 here, and I'll do minus 4 here, right? So then the 4 is gone. I'll have a negative 16 is less than 2x, which is less than 6, less than or equal to 6, because I changed it. Okay? I've got to divide by 2, but again, I've got two different sides to my equation, right? So if I divide by 2, I divide by 2 here and divide by 2 here, right? So I have a negative 8 is less than x, which is less than 3. If I wanted to graph that on a number line, am I going too fast?
No.
Okay. I'll put negative 8 here. I might put 0 here. I don't really need 0, but I'll put 0 in there. I'm going to go and have it be greater than negative 8, so I'll have an open circle at negative 8, open circle, and greater than. And I'll have it less than or equal to 3, closed circle, and less than, so I shade everything in between. How's that? Am I doing okay?
Yep.
Good. Okay, and we'll turn the page in a moment. I'll wait for you. Okay. All right, number 5. Okay, number 5 is an inequality, which means we're going to have two answers. To get two answers, we're going to need two equations. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to have two answers. So don't forget tomorrow, because I'm going to use this to help me out on my quiz, right? Two answers, so I need two equations. All right, so my first equation is going to be 3x minus 12 is greater than 24. Or my second equation is 3x minus 12 is less than negative 24. So when I do absolute values, we get the positive and the negative. The positive and the negative. But when I do the negative, I've got to turn the sign, right? So from here, then I'm going to solve it. I'm going to go plus 12, plus 12. I've got 3x is greater than 36. Divide by 3, and x is greater than 12, right? On the second one, I'll go plus 12, plus 12. I'll have 3x is less than negative 12. Divide by 3. I have x is less than negative 4. Okay, now this is okay. I would take these two answers. It looks better if you write it like this. It looks better, but if you give me both of these tomorrow, I'll take it as a correct answer. But it looks better as a compound inequality. Now to graph it, well, that's not too bad. I can graph that. I'll graph that on the side over here. Okay, I'll put my negative 4. I'll put my 12, and 0 is probably right in here somewhere. I'm going to have an open circle at negative 4 because there's no little equal sign. And x is less than that, so I'm going to go that direction. Or x is greater than 12, so I'll put an open circle at 12 and shade everything bigger than 12. Thumbs up? Okay, good. Number 6. So let's solve. Am I going too fast? Are we good? Okay, let's go ahead and distribute first. So if I distribute first, I get a 3x minus 18. I'll do that first, and then I'll bring everything down. Okay, so I distributed first, so I'll bring down the 3x minus 12 greater than 3x minus 18. Okay. Oh, it looks like a trick question, doesn't it? Yeah, it definitely looks like a trick question because I'm going to subtract 3x, okay? So my x's are gone. So I get negative 12 is greater than negative 18. So either it's going to be infinite many solutions, or it's going to be no solution. So which one is it? Is negative 12 greater than negative 18? It is. Is it always going to be greater than? Yeah. So this one's going to be the infinitely many solutions. Or if you don't like to write all those words, I like the cursive R. What would the graph look like? What would this graph look like? What would the graph look like? Anybody know what the graph looks like? What would the graph the whole thing, right? I'm going to graph the whole line. I'm going to graph the whole thing, right? So if I had to graph that, I'd just graph everything, right? Every point that you could think of, every point is on that line, right? Because they're all good, okay? Okay. I should say given the graph, because obviously Mr. Davies was in a hurry, but it says give the graph, so given that. It's all good. So domain, okay? Let's do it again. Ready? Domain. How wide is it? Don't mess with my domain. So this domain goes from here to here, right? So the domain goes from negative 3 to 5, right? That's my domain, okay? Don't mess with my domain, right? So my domain is going to be from negative 3 less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 5, okay? And everything in between. That's why we do this, because if it's a solid dot, I have to do this because it's all of these answers in 3. Reach for your range, right? Reach for your range. Start at a height of negative 2, and I go up to a height of 2, right? So my range is going to be from negative 2 is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 2, okay? Okay, example 8. And we talked about example 8 today already, right? So you can use any numbers you want. You can. The easiest numbers are usually 0, 1, 2, 3. Those are the easiest numbers, right? Except for I don't want to use 1 or 3. I don't want to use odd numbers. I don't. Because if I use 1 and take half of 1, I'm starting to get fractions, right? If I use 3, I'm going to get half of 3, I get fractions. You can use those numbers. For me, let's just use numbers that can be divided by 2. Let's take 0, 2, 4, okay? So instead, I'm going to choose, because you can choose any numbers. I'm going to choose 0, 2, and 4, okay? Again, you can pick any number. You can't, but I'm going to pick the easiest numbers. So if I pick 0, half of 0 is 0. 0 minus 5 is a minus 5. If I pick 2, half of 2 is 1, and 1 minus 5 is a negative 4. If I pick 4, half of 4 is 2, and 2 minus 5 is a negative 3. Well, these are really points. 0, negative 5, 2, negative 4, and 4, negative 3. These are really points. So if I have to graph this, I'm going to go ahead and get my ruler and try and draw on a graph here. So let's see. I'm going to do it like this because I do know that negative 5 is in there. So go something like this. Okay, that's probably going to work for me. So if I need to graph 0, negative 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 0, negative 5, over 0, down 5. Okay, 1, 2, negative 4, so over 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 1, 2, 3. Now, I knew it was going to be linear. You knew it was going to be linear. You knew it was going to be straight, linear, straight. You knew it. How did we know it was going to be straight? Because the invisible exponent is 1. And sure enough, it looks like a straight line, doesn't it? There it is. And we are going to practice this a whole bunch more after vacation, okay? We're going to get good at graphing. Yeah.
So this stuff is not vacation?
No, this stuff's not. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But all the inequalities only are, okay? All right, now.